This is just a piggyback on deacon servant leadership because it's been emotional intelligence has been a topic that's been discussed since 2005. So I'm not sure whether everyone has encountered this, and I asked some of the brothers and sisters to Google it so that they will have a little bit of information about emotional intelligence. As defined, emotional intelligence is the capacity to reason about emotions and of emotions to enhance thinking. It includes the abilities to accurately perceive it, to access and generate emotions, to access its thought, understand it, to have knowledge about it, and promote emotional and intellectual growth. Whew. That's big.
That's a lot.
But again, the key components are self-awareness. That's the first evening on our Cursilio weekend. Know thyself. So if we are aware of what our emotional stability or instability, it will affect every relationship that we have. If you know that you're easily get upset for something that, say a wife or a husband, there's a word that your husband said something and it already triggers you. How do you respond? Oh, self-regulation. You get upset, you yell at him, you hide your anger through walking away. At times, what I told everyone, especially at work when you're ready, in a situation where you're so angry and you don't want to show it, get a washcloth, hide yourself inside a closet, and lick your tongue. Because sometimes, and bite the washcloth, not your tongue. Because sometimes, words when it's already said, and you cannot get it back, then the more that it's painful for someone because, you cannot take it back and you just hurt that someone. So, again, as Sister Alma said during our formation, think. Is it necessary that you have to say that? Process it before you say it, because sometimes when words is already expressed and you don't know it's gonna hurt someone, it will cause all that, painful feelings among each other. Self-awareness and skill. Do I just walk not wanting to be focused on looking at some other people? Do I ignore the fact that there is someone in front of me that might be interested on knowing me? Or do I just avoid because that person did not smile at me or smile back at me or say hello when you say hello and she did not respond? How do you respond to that? Again, for me, I've done my part, I've done my share. It is your feeling that you're gratified because you are the first one to do whatever is expected of you to do. And if they don't respond to you with a smile or a hello too, don't take it personally. There are people who are that way. And again, we are different. Everyone is different. Everyone has their innate behavior. And sometimes you don't know the roots of that person. So if she's brought up that environment, then the prayer, the serenity prayer is the one that we have to think. God gave me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, because you cannot change anyone, any person. You just have to learn how to accept them and work with them. It is difficult, but sometimes that's the challenge that the Lord is wanting us to, is to accept the people that, the way they are, and love your neighbor as what He has asked us to do. Empathy. What is empathy? Putting yourself in their shoes. The same way, goodness begets goodness. If you treat someone with goodness, what do you expect? You're not supposed to expect, but of course, it's like a boomerang. What you give, you get back. Boomerang is when you throw it, it comes back to you. So Motivation. Why am I doing what am I doing? What is your, as Deacon said, the vision, motivation? Why am I doing? What is the driving force? Why I wanted to be, to do whatever I'm wanting to do? Is, driving force of what your behavior is. A sense of humor. I know life is not always a bed of roses. There are trials, there are times that you're faced with trials. And sometimes we wake up and then different, not a good side of the bed. But, also, how easy it is to have a group, an alliance, when you are faced with people who loves to work with you, because you're cordial, not walking around with always a heavy load on your shoulder. I know sometimes the road is rough, we are full of challenges, but again, there are times also that we can face those trials with a smile or a laughter, or sometimes that problems or those loads that are on your heavy shoulder, by the time you know it, is gone, because the people who is around you is the one who's going to help you, because you might not say anything, but they sense that something is wrong, and then they're the one who's helping you to ease up those pains and sufferings. The 5 ways to live with emotional intelligence is caring about people. Make an extra effort to say thank you. Show that you care, and take the time to help others. Gesture is more powerful than what you think. What you think, just a tap on the shoulder, say thank you, is enough to acknowledge that person's participation, or that sharing of what she has. Every person is gifted with something, though it may be small. When you put it all together in that group, that person is going to give a share of whatever her talent is. That's what I'm saying. Even if how small that person's participation is, it will make that difference. And it also will boost productivity. The recognized man appeals to the head, where the things are easily forgotten. But a respected man captivates the heart, and the heart doesn't forget. Again, as you said, no matter, you can say thank you, thank you, thank you, but if it's not genuine, and you did not respect that person, it would not matter, because respect is earned. And when that person is respected, that person will get it into her, will not forget that. It will stick. Embrace differences to make a big difference. Respect cultural diversities and individual differences. Be smart and look for a common ground to make a difference between people. As I said, each of us is gifted with different capacities to help a team. We have collaborative effort is created through different talents. I might not have a talent to do, what do you call this? To sing. Or dance, but somehow somebody who will share that, and I can do something different from what she's doing, can make that and compensate for each team to be able to function. Do not view differences as a melting pot, but rather as a mosaic of opportunities. Again, as I said, keep thinking. The sum of all those things that are little may be, the sum of that is something that will be global, something that will make a difference. Significance, help others' experiences become significant. What does it mean by that? Help others' experiences become significant. If you make a difference, say, one example that I will give as a sharing is a brother of one of my co-workers' brother was dying, and she came to me crying because he's in the Philippines and she's here. So what I did is just to say, okay, let's go and do you know Divine Mercy? And she's not familiar with the Divine Mercy. So I taught her the Divine Mercy, and it's been almost 5 years. Her brother, although the brother passed on, there was this feeling of relief that she's able to offer that. And she said when she talked to her mom, the mother said that he passed on, a keys. And so she continued, and she started attending the Divine Mercy Congress. Just too bad that we don't have that anymore. But she continued, even her Facebook had all those, and she's been encouraging all families and friends. So in my little way, that significant, that little gesture, that little help that I did was something that made a significant impact on her life, because now that she's holding on to that Divine Mercy, and she's been sharing it with her families and her friends. Again, the definition is the force that changes people's lives and perspective on what matters most. Be accountable like everyone else. Accountability defines one's real intentions. The more accountable you are, the more you can be trusted. So you're given a task to do, and if that task is not paid attention to or not even acknowledged as part of your task that you're accountable to perform, how do you think your peers will perceive that, of your action? Of course, they'll say, well, you were given the task and you're not accountable to do it. And in fact, in our work environment, the same thing. Each of us is accountable to our actions. There's work ethics. And if we're not accountable to what is expected of us, or the performance that we are about to perform, then again, your evaluation, your performance is affected. Performance evaluation is affected by your, by actions. Be mindful of others' needs. A team is more powerful than the sum of its parts, and that's what I was talking about. But each part must continually refurbished and renewed in order for the team to sustain this power. Again, everyone is part of the team. No matter how little your job is, it is the sum of what it is will be making a difference. I'm not sure whether everyone knows about the leadership compass. I will pass on a little handout later on. You can do it at home, because this will give you who is a good partner or a good work relationship between each compass. Who is good working with north, or south working with west, because there's a definition on each group of people. Because sometimes, we keep saying, oh, I'm a type A. My husband is a type A. You clash, because everyone wants to be the leader. Everyone wants to be talking at the same time. And Deacon said, yes, listening is difficult, because, he's talking and you're already processing what you're going to answer. So there's really no compromise, because you both wanted to talk at the same time. And this is really good, because you'll get to see and modify your behavior, though you're not going to be able to change it. But you'll get to see and step back and say, you know what, that's right. My husband is an accountant, he's very analytical. I am different because I'm taking care of patients, he's taking care of numbers. So when we do talk, and he disagrees with me, it's like, I get so upset. I said, well, I'm talking about lives. I'm taking care about lives. You're taking care of numbers. But you know what? You have to step back and say, we have to compromise. This is different. There's different levels of understanding that I have to put, because he does not know what my job entails, and I don't know exactly what his job entails. So there should be something stepping back and saying, you know, this is his way of doing things around, and this is my way of doing things around. But again, it is understanding each other, knowing where to step back, and knowing that how each individual's personality is going to affect the environment where you're working. Because there is no such thing as we cannot work together because he's a type A, this is a type A. Again, there is something that has to be done to compromise, and that is our humility to accept the things that we cannot change and accept those things because we are here. We are here to work for the glory of God. And I had been blessed to have this part of this movement that has really given me a sense of, even at work, when I am already up here, I get to see myself as I'm a Cursilista. I should not be doing that. So you step back and say, hold your tongue, think twice before you say something, or else you'll regret because it will be too late. And by the time you know it, like Deacon said, you know, you sometimes wanted to say and talk about that person to somebody, but you can't because you are a leader and you're not supposed to be doing that. And you have to stop yourself and say, I recognize that behavior is not acceptable, but I should not be talking against this person because, you know, it's not a Christian man. So there's an exercise that I would pass on. There's no right or wrong. Is your self-image positive or negative? There's a question. Actually, it's a very good exercises that you can get into the bookstore, but I will give you just that, and you can answer it at home and play around with it because it'll give you a sense that it will score yourself. Just score yourself, and it'll give your score as, you know, you're not bad at all, but you can work on something. So it's self-improvement. It is, again, something that is for us to think about, that, you know, everything that we're doing is for ourselves. To really be able to be aware of what we are, what we have, and what we can do to improve ourselves, especially during emotional, there's stress around us, and how we react to that stress is something that we really have to be conscious about. Okay, any questions? Questions, Sister Al? Oh, you had flash? Yeah. Again, gestures can be perceived as different by others. So our body language, people tend to be really, they don't think, but they see themselves as, what I'm doing is the one that I think is good. But in the eyes of others, it's, it's different. It means something. It doesn't mean something. Sister Millie.
I just want to ask a question since we're on the topic about gestures. Is it like a lot of people say, I always hear it ever since I was growing up, that they always say action speaks louder than words.
Mm-hmm.
Those are gestures, right? So how do you, when I left Corsilio, I had overcome my difficulties with the gestures of others, because you have, just like you said, you have to accept people the way they are. You cannot change, just like others say too about old dogs, you cannot
Train them anymore.
yes, train
They're
them
old
because
habits.
you train to the people already, got into that situation. Your attitude is always like that, right? But you see, you're trying to become holy, and you're trying to change yourself, and then you keep seeing these gestures from the person that you really want, because if they're around you, and you continue to see these gestures, that's not,